Hey guys, just thought I'll share with you this now old school 2V head Cleveland intake by UltraFlow eradicator from Down Under, designed and made in the late 90s and believed to have been, well, at least marketed as to be the most power making intake, especially for 2V headed Cleveland combos. They did also have a 4V version too. I had my hands on one myself in the late 90s. You can see here on a street solid cam 2V combo. This here I think was an open chamber 2V head deal. 230 something duration at 50 and like 550-inch lift actually, and got passed on to a buddy of mine and got dynoed and checked over at Hercules Competition Engines at Ned's in the day, and put out like something, I think it was 430 horsepower and 420 foot-pound of torque at like all in at 6,200 or something like that. The intake was a little overkill for that combo, but I had it there, so, I used it. The eradicator at the time was like to have been all computer design and simulation software, which was good for marketing. Had gone on to some test mule engines of theirs apparently for some good claim results and all that business, but stood pretty tall at almost 6 3/4 inches high. That's seriously high for back then and for factory iron heads. Had EFI bungs cast in as naturally aspirated EFI deals were slowly coming into play. And turbo and centrifugal blown stuff too to run EFI, and elbows on the top with throttle bodies and all that business. But I remember the flange plates being ridiculously super thin. You can see there on the pictures and the video itself. Anyway, that 2V Cleveland combo later went in search for more power, this time opting for a stroker kit, 378 cubic inches. Heads had been ported out by Baker's machine shop back then, a bigger stick in it. We kept the intake and ran a 750 double pumper, as is with the, choke air horn and all that stuff. And now making 460 or 470 flywheel horsepower and 460 foot-pound of torque, all on pump gas back then, and, with only like 10.5 to 1 comp. And the first and only time out in that fashion, it ran 11.6 ET, C4, built auto, and all being in a full-bodied XY GT replica sedan, so like, 3500 LB. Not too sure how sought after this combination was, as I at this point had no involvement in it, too many hands on it at play, to be honest. But something like this in today's time should see an easy 510 to 540 flywheel horsepower. We did have a few Aussie 2V Victor style intakes at the time, like Active, Parker, and this here also, over the usual low-rise wing and accelerator stuff and Edelbrock stuff. But after a while, my buddy Stroker 2V underwent in search for even more power on the rollers this time, swapping out the basic Holly for one of their early performance versions. This was before the HP stuff came out. I believe it was an 850 or something. I may be wrong, but I remember it picking up heaps of new improved power on the rollers. Never went back out to race with it again, but I can testify as I drove it and been in it. It would have definitely seen a low 11 in the right conditions, like suspension, 60 foot, all those things. So there you have it. Pretty cool intake, and it did work, or it will work. Not many around, I've noticed, to be honest, but would be nice, especially on the more modern, improved 2V alloy aftermarket style heads that are available now. And in saying that, there's plenty of high-rise 2V intakes available now. The Trick Flow, you got intakes from Aussie Speed or Torque Power, etc. But remember, real old school is cool. Thanks, guys.